peace, power, and prosperity to everybody. It's a beautiful day here in New York. Give us some time. Let some people come in from this pop-up live. I'm out here under I-10. Where's the sun? Boom. Out here under I-10. Great, great solar disk shooting out that raw energy, that light energy. I'm actually walking to the gym. Got my Gatorade here, color red, right? Invoking that Heru energy, that energy of Ra. Peace, Justina. And what I want to talk about as I take this walk to the gym, I've already covered a couple of blocks, right? And as I was walking, I'm having this visualization and I'm keeping in my head. And this visualization is of the deity Heru and Tahuti. And while I'm walking, I'm listening to theta waves, right? Putting myself in a hypnotic state. Now, as this is what you would call a walking meditation, all right? A walking meditation. And I'm utilizing the sun as a battery to amplify my connection to this deific energy, to amplify that power source that is within me. Now, when we look, right, let's look at marketing, for example. When you talk about marketing and marketing a business, one of the first things they do is tell you that you need a logo, right? You need a logo. And what does the logo do? The logo identifies your brand. Meaning that if I look at the logo on Starbucks, which is really just an avatar or a representation of Oshun, right? When I look at that logo, though, I know that Starbucks is dealing with, I know that Starbucks is about coffee, right? All I need to do is see the logo, see the stars, see the green, see the woman, right? And I know it's dealing with coffee. The logo, or the term logo, comes from the Greek logos. The Greeks got the term logos from the hieroglyph. The hieroglyph, hiero meaning holy, holy glyph or divine glyph, is a pictorial representation of a spiritual ideal. See, there is a saying, damn, I'm here quicker than I expected. There is a saying that goes, pictures are worth more than 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So when you're talking about a picture, the picture holds more energy than just the words. Now, where does respiration and the picture come in? Now, when you're engaged in something like walking, right, typically you zone out. I'm already here at the gym. But when you're talking about walking, right, or you're running, they have something called a runner's high. And when you're walking, you zone out. When you're working out, you zone out. And another way you zone out is when you're meditating, right? See, in ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, they called the so-called demons or the evil or the enemy of Osir, which is basically the highest ideal or the highest God force. They talk about this being, the enemy being a pep, which is basically a snake. Now, in occult communities or esoteric communities, this snake or this kundalini energy or this snake energy has a positive and negative. See, a lot of times we talk about it as positives, that naga energy, that snake energy, or that kundalini energy, right, rising. But let's say you are addicted to chocolate cake, right? And you're trying to fight that addiction to chocolate cake. You read books on dieting. You say affirmations. I am not eating chocolate cake anymore. I will not eat chocolate cake, right? Words don't change anything. Experiences do. Words don't change a thing. You can read this is why there's people that read 1 billion books, you know, have the biggest libraries in the world, are so-called logical, right? Logically smart, but they can't change their behavior. They can't change the way that they live. They're socially awkward around people. Or at work, they don't know how to handle and be around people. They're socially awkward around women, socially awkward around men, or vice versa, you know. They're lazy. You know, they have issues with waking up and getting to work. You know, things like that. They have addictions, alcoholism, drug addictions, which keeps them from being their best self, which keeps them from maximizing opportunities, which keeps them from growing. When you have a pictorial representation in your mind, that picture, what does it do? That picture affects the nervous system. For instance, if I give you the picture of a rabid dog, foam coming out of the mouth, and I tell you this dog is running at you, right? Your nervous system sends a signal to your body that will put you in a state of fight or flight. And in a state of flight, right? Because of the picture that I just gave you. This dog doesn't have to be running at you. In fact, when you go to the movies, scientifically speaking, scientific studies shows that when you go to the movies, your brain doesn't know the difference between the reality of what you're watching on the screen versus the fact that it's fiction. Your brain just sees it as real. Why? Because it's on a silver screen and there's pictures, there's frames per second moving, right? And you, depending on how they frame the picture, what colors they use, right? Whether they have rain scenes, water scenes. I talk about this all the time, how when you see a rain scene or ocean scene, they're tapping into your subconscious and they're trying to make you hooked into the scene. Even when you watch shows like Power and there's all these sexual scenes, right? It's not just for the art of the actual film or the actual show. It's to hook you in. It's to draw you in. It's to get you more interested in the plot. Because again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So where does respiration come into all this? Well, again, when you're watching a movie, haven't you watched a movie and it felt like time stopped? You were suspended in whatever scene that was. You were watching Infinity War or watching Grey's Anatomy, right? Or something like that. You're locked in. Can't move from your seat because of the power and the influence of the picture, right? The film that you're watching. And of course, they add sounds and words and things like that. But it's the picture that's the most important. So when you are breathing, the kundalini or the snake-like energy is tied into the part of your brain that's called the R complex or the reptilian complex. It's the oldest part of your brain, the most unevolved, and it deals with movement. It deals with your body language, right? It's one of the reasons that, you know, women, you see them wearing high heels. You see men peacock, right? Wear certain clothes. You might like the way a man walks. You might like the way a woman walks with a nice switch, right? That's the reptilian complex. Body language, right? They say the body speaks more than the words do, right? It's a scientific fact. Body language. So when you are going, let's go back to the chocolate cake. So when you're saying, yo, I want to alleviate myself from eating this chocolate cake, right? I want to stop eating chocolate cake. And you're just telling yourself words. Imagine yourself trying to communicate with a snake and say, snake, I don't want you to bite me. Or imagine yourself trying to communicate with a dog and get a dog to read a book. Imagine yourself trying to communicate with a cat and telling the cat, you know what I'm saying? Don't go after the mice. You know what I'm saying? Train the cat, don't go after mice. You can't reason with the animal part of yourself. You can't reason with that snake part of yourself. But what you can do, right? When you breathing in and when you inhale and you push out the belly and you tighten it, what it does is it activates something in your body called the vagus nerve. And they do this all the time in film. They do this all the time in commercials, right? You activate what's in your body called the vagus nerve. It's the biggest nerve in your body. And this vagus nerve puts you in a state of rest and receptivity. So when you are inhaling and you pushing out the stomach and you tighten it for a bit, that vagus nerve over a couple of repetitions, it activates. And you are highly receptive, right? Now you are able to place images of you in your successful, optimal, highest form of behavior. You are able to visualize and materialize your dreams. And you are suppressing that R complex. You are suppressing that snake within you. The story of the Garden of Eden, that's what it is about. When they talk about the snake climbing up the tree of life, the tree of life is basically the spinal cord. The spinal cord is connected to that R complex, right? That R complex, that reptilian complex, that physical body movement. So now you see yourself around, so now what you would do when you are breathing and learning to breathe properly and learning to meditate, and you're doing a walking meditation, which I talked about earlier, or you're doing something at the gym, right? When you're engaged in movement, when you're activating the breath, now you can plant these seeds of thought that overcome that apep, that overcome that reptilian complex, that overcome that snake in your body, that animal part of your body. So the reason that the Cometians use animals, the reason that the Egyptians used animals, animal-headed gods, is because you have an animal within you. What we call animals are not even really animals. They're just animated states of nature. Again, you can't tell a lion not to be a lion. Yeah, people train lions and all that, but a lot of people get bit eventually by that same lion that they train. I remember there was this lion duo, right? I forgot the name of the lion duo. These Caucasians, but one of them, you know, they've been working with these lions for like 10, 20, 30 years. One day the lion said, fuck that. I flipped out and killed the motherfucker. You know, the crocodile hunter back in the 80s and the 90s. You know, he working with animals all his life. One of his animals that he had as a pet killed his ass because an animal is an animal. So the Kemetic understanding of life, they understood that you have animals within you, and they understood that these animals have certain energies. So when you're talking about something like Heru, they understood how the falcon hunted. Legend said stingrays took him out. Yeah, I didn't know that. Peace to Philip. Peace to it just disappeared the comment. But peace to everybody who's in here. Hit the like button, please. But the animal took them out because you can only, now a dog is different, you know what I'm saying? Because of the way that a dog's brain works. And a dog, you know, you see things like Ampu or Anubis or Sebek, right? These animal-headed deities. Now, an animal is where you would tie your affirmations to. If you want to communicate better, if you want to speak in public better, right? It's that mercurial energy tied to a pictorial representation. So it's very important when you are doing this type of work that you don't strictly rely on books, that you don't strictly rely on lectures, that you don't strictly rely on hearsay, things that you see on the internet, but that you are actually taking your ideas, your dreams, your goals, the things that you want to change, and putting them in a pictorial frame in your own form of a hieroglyphic, and using the deities, using the tree of life, right? This is why I work with the Kemetic tree of life over the Kabbalah. No disrespect to the Kabbalah, but ain't enough pictures in the Kabbalah for me. Ain't no pictures in the Kabbalah, and I understand how the logos work. I understand the logo is a hieroglyph. And again, if you understand marketing, you know that the logo is one of the most important things in business. All you got to do is see the swoosh, and I already know it's Nike. If I see that orange swoosh, I don't need to know. If I look at and I see a store and I see an orange swoosh, I know what's in the store already. I know what's in the store. I know there's athletic gear. I know there's sneakers in the store. I don't need to read anything. It doesn't have to say Nike. The picture contains all. The picture contains all. Now, what do most people do on a day-to-day basis? People visualize negative things happening before they even happen. People visualize negative futures happening before they even happen. People visualize the worst things happening before they even happen. Why is that? We're conditioned via TV, via dramas, right, to react certain ways. You having a tough time, throw your phone, right? Things you see in movies. You having a tough time, break, punch the wall, slam everything on the table, right? They don't teach you how to be at peace, how to be calm in the face of difficulty. They don't teach you that when you are calm in the face of difficulty and when you are at peace, right? And when you are able to still your breathing and tap into that vagus nerve of rest and receptivity, the receptivity you will get is downloads from your pineal gland that will affect your vagus nerve, which is part of your nervous system. And you will start to receive ideas. You will start to receive downloads. You will start to receive visions, right? And the energy that you are now emitting from your electromagnetic field now is going to magnetize the things that you visualize to you. A lot of people have negative outcomes based on what's happened in the past, but you cannot create a new future based on the conditions of the past. You have to create new conditions for the future. That's how you empower your electromagnetic field properly. Most people empower their electromagnetic field negatively, right? What are they watching? You know, the older folks, what are they watching? Most of them, the news, 24/7. The news, CNN, Fox, right? The news is telling them the news is giving them their visions. The music video is giving the kids in the hood their visions, right? The signs, Newport Alive with Pleasure, is giving people their visions. The commercials are giving people their visions. This is one of the importance of solitude. This is one of the importance of taking time to meditate. This is not something that you could alleviate out of your spiritual and magical practice. If you are just reading books all day, if you are watching lectures all day, if you are looking at Facebook and Instagram and your favorite scholars all day, but you are not taking images in your mind in a state where your breath is not in fight or flight, which is what the news does, which is what these commercials do. Marketing is based on, I've been doing sales for damn near 20 years. Marketing is all based on fear. I can tell you that now. It's all based on fear. It's all based on what would happen if you don't take the option that I give you. People in the spiritual community do this to y'all all the time. Oh, well, if you don't take my, if you don't join my money ritual, good luck to you. If you don't take my cord cutting spell, good luck to you. They're selling you fear. The same thing that the church does. The church sells you fear all day long. While I'm thinking about it, I want to shout out to everybody here in New York City and Brooklyn. There was a crazy event that happened this morning. It had me, because my daughter goes to school very close to that situation in Brooklyn. So shout out to them. And shout out to everybody who's healing. Wish them well, wish them the best, and all that. But I just want to tell you guys, today of all days, this week of all weeks, if you don't know how to meditate, learn. When you first start meditating, you're going to have a lot of thoughts. You're going to be thinking about bills. You're going to be thinking about your boo. You're going to be thinking about, when you got to make a run to the pharmacy, what are you going to eat for dinner, what are you going to cook, etc., etc. Those things are going to come, right? All you have to do is go back to whatever your image is. And what you do after that is you add a word of power to that. An easy word of power is ones that the Hindus have been telling you forever. It's Om. The Kemetics call it Om, right? There's a deity in Kemet called Osir. If you are looking at the Kabbalah, they have Om Sof, right? Ein Sof, which sounds just like Osir, ironically. Okay, Osir is that deity that with the crook and the flail, shepherding tools, right? The crook bringing things in, the flail getting things off of you, So you have to be very conscious, especially this week, of the images that you are taking in, the images that you are propagating about your future. If you see yourself failing in the future, guess what? You're going to fail in the future. If you see yourself in poverty, then guess what? You're going to be in poverty, right? But more important than just seeing it in these states of mind that are regular, you want to, again, breathe in. When you breathe in, push the belly out. When you breathe out, push the belly in. And you're going to exhale through the nose, put your tongue in the roof of the mouth. You could breathe in, start with I've told y'all this for years, the 4-8 breath. Breathe in 4 times, pushing the belly out, tighten it on the 4th breath. Exhale, push the belly in, right? I'm doing it now while I'm talking to y'all. So push the belly in, right? Exhale, coming out the nose, right? 8 times. Make it count to 8. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, whatever, right? And as you do this after a couple of repetitions, it'll activate that vagus nerve. It'll put you in what they call a meditative trance. That meditative trance is basically the table where you prepare your nourishing meal. And that nourishing meal, attach a vision, attach that Om or that Om to that vision, right? Do that over a couple repetitions, over a couple of times. I'm going to give you a quick story. This is when I was locked up, right? I'm locked up in jail. This is back in the early 2000s. I'm locked up in jail, right? So there was this guy, bigger than me. He was probably like 6'6". I'm 6'3". He was about 6'6". Had to be like 300 pounds. But this dude was built like the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? He was in what they call the dorms, right? I was in the dorms on Rikers Island. It's basically a place with just flat beds or whatever, right? Probably about 50 to 60 people in one dorm, right? And this dude was just intimidating looking. You know what I'm saying? He was just intimidating looking. And I was legit scared. You know what I'm saying? That me and him was going to tangle. We was the 2 biggest guys in the house. You know what I'm saying? And, I just felt like we was going to clash. So what I did at the time, I was studying this concept early on. And what I did with the time was just see me and this guy getting along, us shaking hands. I could see me and this guy, even in my vision, was hugging this guy in this meditative state that I just gave y'all. So we passed by each other. I'm just coming in the house. I just got out of a fight in another dorm. So they moved me in this house. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get in the fight again, right? Because the way he was looking at me and the way I was looking at him. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, we was going to clash eventually. I could see it in his eyes. He was that type of dude. And he was known for being that type of dude in that house. So I'm meditating, boom. Do you know eventually he came up to me, gave me a pound, and he became my protector. He became my security guard in prison in that house. He came, in fact, after he gave me a pound, after he said what's up, after we talked, he bought me food. He ain't asked for nothing. And you know what he said? He was like, I just like your vibe, man. He was like, I just like your vibe, man. I just like your vibe. So through my visualization, I was able to affect my electromagnetic field and magnetize the outcome that I wanted with him. And I've done this in various other situations and scenarios, from people that I had issues at work with, to landlords, to et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? To making more money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because this is the power of breath and image, and also sound, right? Can't leave out sound, but breath and image. Respiration, spirit action. Why do you think they target us with cigarettes? Why do you think they have these 5G towers out here going crazy? If you think these things aren't affecting you, then you're bugging, right? We got all these churches in the hood. Ain't nobody saved. We got all these books, all these theologians, all these preachers, all these prophets, all these young this, all this king this, all this, philosopher this. But people aren't getting better. People aren't changing their behavior for the better. People aren't having better outcomes. People aren't happy. People are not at peace. People are not at peace. Because that motherfucking R complex, that reptile in them, has a stranglehold. You wake up one day, say, yeah, I want to go to the gym, I want to work out, right? But that reptile in you was like, yo, fuck what you want to do, nigga. I want to chill, I want to relax. That's what I've been doing. Fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? All I know how to be is what I've been doing, what I've been conditioned to do, what I've been doing for the last 10, 20 years. Or the West, or whatever, I'm just using working out as an example because I'm here at the gym. But you have to recondition yourself. In order to re-embark on this workout journey, I had to visualize myself coming here. I had to visualize myself lifting weights and being buff and being decent and feeling healthy and feeling better, right? It wasn't an easy process. But now, it's nothing. I wake up, I'm like, yo, if I don't go, there's a part of me now that's like, yo, why you didn't go, nigga? The snake, I've reprogrammed it. That snake on the tree of life, that so-called tricked Adam and Eve, which is really just a representation of the Ida and Pingala, or the left and right brain, right? That Apep snake, which they call a python, because it has, when you are in fight or flight, when you're watching the news and you're watching all these bad stories, you don't realize it, but it's putting you in a state of fight or flight. It's putting you in a state of tension. That little snake is strangling you. Your breathing is more rapid. Your blood pressure rises. And most importantly, your IQ is lowered. So you're actually a dumb motherfucker the more angry you are. If you look at Bruce Lee, shout out to Bruce Lee, I posted on my IG yesterday. Bruce Lee was never angry. Bruce Lee said, be like water, my friend. He was fucking motherfuckers up peaceful and as calm as hell. And sometimes you get downloads early on and you don't even know it and you don't realize it. I mean, when I was younger, I used to be laughing and fighting people. I'd be getting into fights laughing. And I didn't understand why I was laughing while I was fighting people. But I realized that when the times that I was angry and I got into fights, I was least effective. And the times that I was laughing and smiling, I was fucking niggas up. You know what I'm saying? My government name was Robin, and I was very skinny, so I used to get in a couple fights, when I was younger. A lot more. Well, I ain't fighting nobody now, but a lot when I was younger, and I was in them streets. So I was on a different type of time. But I would be laughing while I was fighting. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed that I was able to dodge. I was able to predict the moves. You know what I'm saying? It was some magical shit. So, especially this week, that's why I'm dropping this for y'all. Tap into that imagery. Tap into your visualization. Use that Om sound. Use whatever. Use that string music that I told y'all about. Use the power of the Psalms, whatever it is. But make sure you have an image of what you want the future to be. Whatever type of situation you're going through now, I don't care, whatever type of hell, whatever your boo, whatever your financial situation, visualize what it is and make sure it is within the sphere of your influence. For instance, If you don't have no motherfucking bed to sleep in, don't be visualizing the motherfucking mansion. You know what I'm saying? Visualize first and foremost a bed, a comfortable bed with a nice pillow, you know, that's warm and comfortable and snug. You feel yourself feeling all snug, like, you know what I'm saying? Like cuddling it with a body pillow and cuddling, and you know what I'm saying? That's the strength that you want to, the passion that you want to put into this visualization, right? Attach it with a sound, attach to it an affirmation, slow and still your breathing so that that vagus nerve could kick in, so that you could be receptive. Now your spirit is receptive. Respiration. Your spirit, the word spirit, the etymology of the word spirit means breath. So now your spirit is receptive to what you're putting in versus you just doing it when you're just doing whatever you're doing during the day. Your spirit is not receptive. You watching TV, you cooking, you doing XYZ. You could again do this as a walking meditation where you're consciously visualizing something, visualizing a deity that represents whatever you're trying to, again, I'm using that rule. You know what you're trying to overcome. I'm also working with Sebek. You know what you're trying to overcome and you're trying to change. Again, this is the reason why I feel like the Kemetic tree of life is superior than the Kabbalah. No disrespect, no cap. But I'll battle anybody on that. Because there's no deities. There's no visual deities to hold on to. So with that said, I don't want to be on here too long and make this a superior long video. I hope you're working on, getting your hibiscus tea, drinking your ginger tea, detoxifying that liver, getting ready for these summer downloads, getting ready for these downloads from the great Ra, from the great Aten, the great solar disk, getting your body right. I hope you're working on your diet so that your liver's not fighting off all the bullshit that you're eating all day, weakening your immune system, lowering your IQ and your vibration, right? I hope you're getting your mind right. If you're here, hit that like button. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be going harder and harder with y'all as this weather is changing and things are changing. I love y'all. I want to see y'all all win. Stop worrying about saving the community. Stop worrying about saving everybody outside of you and save yourself. Your life will be an example. Once you change yourself, people will start to come to you. You don't have to come to them. People will start to come to you. That whole saving people comes from Christianity and the missionaries, right? In ancient times, in ancient society, we wasn't saving nobody. People came to save themselves, right? People were chosen. Those who choose, God choose it. The chosen are those who choose themselves. So be passionate as you are about the sex and everything else, right? And we'll go into sex magic a little bit more on another day because I want to talk about that too. But be passionate about this work. Be passionate about meditating. Be passionate about your daydreams. When you're daydreaming, you're zoning out, you're thinking of negative shit, shift that shit immediately, right? See yourself with an axe cutting down that negative thought or that negative person. Chop it up. That's a deity, Heracouti, right? You may call that, which I call that in Ifa. Ogun, right? See yourself chopping that shit up. Take this into your meditation. Attach your frequency, theta wave. First 15 minutes of the day, your mind's already in theta. Visualize your day. See your day the way you want it to be. Put a sound, put some theta waves to that. You know what I'm saying? Put some music that's inspiring to that visualization, right? Do it the same way that you're being marketed to, with sound and light. All right, y'all. With that said, peace, power, and prosperity. Rod Black Storm. Archetype clothing coming soon, very, very soon. Look out for that. I got some drip for y'all. All my drip has seals, right? Seals. So they all designed that when you wear them, you will be inspired. And then when you wear them, you will be protected. First of a kind clothing. Peace, pound, prosperity, Rob Blackstorm. I love you. Let me go get this workout on.